Hello, and welcome back to my Pokémon LeafGreen Wedlocke. In the last episode, we had all sorts of fun over here aboard the SS Anne. Got to battle Durian again, and kicked his butt this time, didn't lose anybody. Also had a few little surprises along the way, but including some new additions to the team in the form of evolutions. Buttercup evolved into a lovely Weepinbell, and Cera into a lovely Sandslash. And Cera is now going to be the star of today's show, because I am taking on Lieutenant Surge. And of course, his electric-type Pokemon have only one type weakness, and that is ground. Now, I mean, some of the trainers use Magnemite, and there's part Steel-type, and they're weak to fighting and rock and blah blah blah, but basically, the star of the show is going to be Cera. Quick look at the rest of my team. I also have a Cherry Berry attached to Cera to keep her from getting paralyzed as a result of, because she uses physical moves, and I don't want her to activate static on any of Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon. But because this is my only Cherry Berry, I'm going to take it off her for now and put it back on when I'm about to fight Lieutenant Surge, because I don't want to waste it on one of the gym trainers in the gym. So first, let's watch the SS Anne depart. Notice the SS Anne leaves for parts unknown and never returns, which leads me to believe something bad happened to it, like in the Pokemon anime when it sinks, like a la Titanic. And then there's that whole interesting few episodes that are a result of that. It was a strange part of the anime. But anyway, now we must go and use Cut. Okay, also for those of you who may have missed a few episodes, I am imposing a bit of a level limit on myself. I don't want any of my Pokemon to be at a higher level than the gym leader's highest level Pokemon when I enter the gym. So in this case, Lieutenant Surge's high level Pokemon is his Raichu, I believe, at level 24. And so none of my Pokemon are above level 24. But now that's just for when I enter the gym. If Cera happens to gain 2 levels while fighting against the trainer Pokemon inside here, then it's not a big deal. So this gym is arguably, but probably not so much arguably, probably definitely the most frustrating gym in this game, and possibly the most frustrating gym in any Pokemon game. Like, I think this beats any of the ice puzzle games by a long shot, because before battling any of these trainers, let me demonstrate. You have to look for 2 hidden switches in these trash cans. And it doesn't seem so hard. Like, it's not so hard to find the first switch. Like, you just trial and error. But the second switch is in the trash can next to it. We're rudely interrupted by this trainer. I'll finish explaining after the battle, but basically it has to be one right next to the other, and if you pick the wrong garbage can, then the switch is reset, so you have to find the first one all over again in another random garbage can, and then pick the second one. Now, what's so hard about that, you ask? Well, any garbage can has anywhere from 2 to 4 adjacent garbage cans. So you have anywhere from, like, 50-50 is your best shot at guessing it right. Or you could have a 25% chance of getting it right any given time. So it's just a long and tedious, you really have to be lucky in order to find the right garbage can. So really, Cera's only real threat is Sonic Boom, which does a set amount of damage, always does 20. But yes, anyway, as you can see here, so take this garbage can. Let's say this garbage can had the switch in it. Well, the second switch could be in this garbage can, or in this garbage can, or over in this garbage can, and I have absolutely no way of knowing which one it would be in, except by trial and error. Don't you love trial and error? There's no skill involved in this at all, it's totally luck. And I'm surprised, this was something really frustrating from Red and Blue, that they didn't really update well, they didn't update it all in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and it seemed like Fire Red and Leaf Green mostly fixed a lot of issues that were problems in the Generation 1 games. Okay, so the first electric block opened. Now, in this case, it's pretty good because I have a 50-50 shot, but even though you saw me check this garbage can over here to the left, and it didn't have anything in it, it could now be in it, but I really don't know. It could be in that one, or it could be in that one. It's still a 50-50 shot, no matter what it said before. So I'm just going to go for it. Yep, the locks were reset. There you go. So see, it was in that other one all along, even though I've already checked it. But, oh well. Let's take out my anger by battling this sailor guy. She's a sailor using electric type Pokemon. That's kind of odd, because I can see the using fighting types and water types, but oh well, I guess, you know, don't have to box you into a stereotype. Although a lot of the trainer classes, you know, they do behave within their expected stereotypes. Dig is so nice. Again, at this stage in the game, it's pretty powerful. Oh, there's static, what I warned you about. Because Cera can't get paralyzed by Thunder Wave because it doesn't affect her, but she can get paralyzed by static. But I'm gonna deal with it for right now. I think I'll be okay. Quick attack, not gonna do much. But yeah, Dig is pretty good at this stage in the game. It has 80 base power, I believe, which the next most powerful attack you usually see around this time is Bite, which has 60. Now, I think Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon might have Thunderbolt, at least his Raichu might. But in Red and Blue, see, it made sense because the Pokemon that, or the TM, excuse me, that he gave out was the TM for Thunderbolt, but in this game it's the TM for Shockwave. So his Pokemon, usually they all have Shockwave, but I don't know if they would still have Thunderbolt. But either way, that's, well, anyway, Thunderbolt in this game is base 95 power, but either way, it's not going to be an issue for Cera because she is simply not affected by any of those Electric-type attacks. Which, immunities are quite nice when they're on your side. And this is, you know, in a generation before there were that many ways to counter a type advantage, so like, for instance, if I were using like a Geodude or a Graveler, like a rock and ground type, like, the Raichu could have, dang it, could have Iron Tail and counter it, but no, it doesn't even have that. And it's not a surfing Raichu like in Pokemon Stadium, which that's just broken. But it's also, there's no Emolga, so there's no resistant Pokemon to ground types, no Emolga, no Electros. There's no Heliolisk that could no Surf. So really, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just use ground types and you're pretty good to go. Look at that, I got really lucky and it's open. Now I don't remember, if I leave and come back, I think I have to open it all over again. So I'm really hoping, well, I'm just gonna fight this guy anyway. Oh yeah, there's another thing. Lieutenant Surge is known as the Lightning American, and he was also in the army. So there's another double team. Another example of real-world references in the Pokemon games. And then in his little speech thing, Lieutenant Surge talks about the war, and there's this whole like weird kind of Pokemon conspiracy theory about how the world of Kanto that you play in Red and Blue and Fire Red and Leaf Green is this like kind of maybe not post-apocalyptic, but like post-World War sort of scenario, which is why there's not a lot of adults and not a lot of male adults around anymore, and there's a bunch of kids and running around on their own. I don't know why you don't have a dad, and anyway, even though I'm pretty sure I'll have to redo that stupid puzzle, I'm going to heal just because I had to use like I think 3 digs, and even though I probably won't need to, I don't have to worry about the PP for dig running out against Lieutenant Surge. I don't want to take the chance in case his Pokemon double team and stall me out like that. Also, before I forget, I want to attach a Cherry Berry back to Cera. I gotta go to the berry pouch. Cherry Berry. Oh, so I actually had 2, but so I didn't really need to save that one, but I could still save it, just in case I run into another situation where I want it. Okay, so... Oh, no, I didn't have to. Okay, thank goodness. So, it's all good then? Okay, Cera, it is time to shine against Lieutenant Surge. Hey, kid! What do you think you're doing here? You won't live long in combat, not with your puny power. I tell you, kid, electric Pokémon saved me during the war. They zap my enemies into paralysis. The same as I'll do to you. Jeez, that's gruesome. Imagine a world where Pokémon were used instead of, I guess, in addition to conventional weapons for war. That would be quite frightening. Although I suppose it's also a world where, like, these Pokemon can survive, like being fire blasted, being paralyzed. But, you know, if you believe the anime, which admittedly is a bit more cartoony, but, you know, if you believe the anime, humans in this world can even withstand Pokemon attacks. So I guess it's not quite as big of a deal, or it's not quite as, I don't know, like you're not instantly dead, maybe, if you face a Pokemon. Oh, there's that double team strategy again. Well, I will say, these gym trainers did a good job for preparing me for the two main threats, well, the three main threats I have to face in this gym. The first one being Sonic Boom, the second one being Double Team, and the third one potentially being Static, which I don't have to worry about, it looks like. Didn't even have to use my Cherry Berry. Alright, Raichu. I should be able to handle this, but of course Raichu's gonna spam Double Team. I don't think there's anything else it can do. I mean, I would assume it knows Slam, or at least Quick Attack. But I'm thinking it's gotta know, it knows Double Team, it knows Shockwave and or Thunderbolt, and then it would know Quick Attack or Slam. But look at that, those Double Teams don't matter. One hit KO! Oh, Cera, you are too good. I mean, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it's unfair, but I didn't overtrain Cera or anything. She didn't even end up out-leveling any of his Pokemon by the end of it. But even if I didn't use Cera or have Cera, I probably could have used Bulby and been okay, because Bulby's pretty resistant to anything. I mean, Bulby's resistant to electric attacks and could probably Leech Seed and Poison Powder her way to victory, so I probably would have been okay either way. Team 34 contains Shockwave. Teach it to an electric-type Pokemon. Well, I don't have any electric-type Pokemon, but I will check real quick if anybody can learn it. I don't think so at this point. Possibly Sylvester or Fievel? Possibly, because I know Persian can learn Thunderbolt, because I remember fighting against it in Pokemon Stadium. Persian was broken in Pokemon Stadium. Okay, so I can teach it to Sylvester or Fievel. I was correct on both counts. I'm gonna wait and decide on that, because it's not going to be immediately useful just yet, or immediately necessary to have an electric-type attack just yet. I'll save it in the event that it becomes in handy, because who knows, maybe through some unfortunate events, if I lose a Pokemon, I might gain another one who would find it even more useful. We'll see. Let's have Fievel cut. So I'm going to heal up real quick, and then I'm going to go and get the bike real quick, because this episode hasn't been all that long yet. So I figure that will take up enough of the rest of the time. Let's talk to this guy. Yeah, I knew he wasn't there before. It's me, one of Professor Oak's aides. Did you meet the other aide? He had a package from Professor Oak for you, Banana. He said he'd look for you around Route 2, Banana. If you're in the Route 2 area, please look for him. Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to do that in the next episode, because in the next episode, we're going to go through Diglett's Cave and back to Pewter City and do a little bit of side questing. So that'll be fun. But we'll do one side quest today, which is get the bike voucher. But first, we've got to talk to this guy. I chair the Pokemon Fan Club. I raise more than 100 Pokemon. I'm very fussy when it comes to Pokemon, I surely am. So, did you come to hear about my Pokemon? Yes. Good, then listen up. My favorite Rapidash. It's cute, lovely, smart, plus amazing. You think so? Oh yes, it's stunning. Kindly love it. Hug it when sleeping, warm, and cuddly. Spectacular. Ravishing. Oops, look at the time. I kept you too long. I want to... thanks for hearing me out. I want you to have this. A bike voucher. Sorry, I was just kind of cracking up at the idea that he just goes on and on and on talking. It's weird though, because those sentences, those little phrases that he uses, like, it's all broken up with ellipses and stuff, but, so you would imagine he's saying a lot more, and so, like, whatever you're hearing is him out of context. But, like, if you read it all, it makes just enough sense altogether that you would... It's weird, like, talking about hugging his Rapidash when he's asleep, and just all that. That's really the only kind of really weird thing, I guess, but he's just so obsessed with his Rapidash. I guess he's obsessed with all of his favorite Pokemon because he is chair of the Pokemon fan club. Okay, so let's go... I could have just cut there, but really, this isn't much less convenient. I can cut on the way back. Okay. Oh, that's a bike voucher. Okay, here you go. I like that. It's just no questions asked. Oh, you have a piece of paper. Let me give you a bike. I mean, I suppose it's a valid bike voucher, like, and all that. Well, let's try it out. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah, it's still being here. Dun, 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 dun. Let's register it so I can select it. It seems so slow in this game. Maybe it's because I can super speed like this. It seems like almost the same speed as the running shoes, but I guess it's convenient because you don't have to hold in a button. So, I'm gonna go back to Vermilion City, just to close out the episode. I can't use the bike indoors, with, I believe, the exception of this tunnel. Whee! I love this music too. I actually like the original 8-bit version better. I mean, maybe it's nostalgia. Dang it, I keep doing that. But, I don't know, it just sounded cool, little 8-bit instruments. So let me ride my bike again, back to Vermilion City, because it's just fun. And with that, I will see you next time on my Pokémon LeafGreen Wedlocke, where we'll be doing some side questing in Diglett's Cave and Pewter City.